So the Lamar fiasco continues.
Yeah.
And it's getting pretty strange, man.
You think?
Him not having an agent is no excuse for teams not wanting him, if we're being truthful.
Okay.
Now he's on Twitter constantly causing a ruckus. Logical teams like Atlanta and Washington are openly passing on him.
Mm-hmm.
Could he end up forcing himself out of the league entirely?
Okay, that seems extreme.
Very extreme.
It is not off the board because he could sit out this year. He could sit out this year. So there's so much here. First, let me say this. Lamar needs better people around him.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. One is he sent out these tweets that, and I don't want to be rude, but they're not well-crafted messages. If you are trying to interview, essentially, for jobs across the league. Now, I understand some might say his interview process is turn on the film. I get that. But quarterback is the most public-facing position for a franchise. And it, especially if you have any holes in your game or any concerns, folks are going to nitpick everything. And there is a very unfair, but it is reality, of a double standard of how we evaluate still to this day black quarterbacks and whether people question their processing and all this stuff, which ultimately is just questioning their intelligence. And Lamar's poorly phrased tweets do not help him there. Right. Let me tell you another thing doesn't help him. He said, check out my fan page. This is Lamar Jackson's website. I'm just going to show it to you, DeMonte. It does not look like a website
of a multi-million-dollar man.
Exactly right. If you were his About Me page on the website has accolades like 2-time Pro Bowler, league MVP, just bullet points. College is the only play. Like this
makes me feel so bad for Lamar.
Doesn't it? That's what when I say listen, I couldn't design a website. By the way, if I designed a website,
some type of team,
you got to have a team around you.
Yeah. And
the team around him that he evidently has is this dude, his business partner, Ken, who was reported was calling teams on his behalf, even though he's not an agent. Lamar said he's not calling teams. By the way, he and I are releasing the entire gym, which is just like a portable gym setup, and that's his business partner. Lamar also promised an interview with Big Trust Productions. That an interview hasn't come. He's not handling this properly. This is not me coming, and then I'll talk about the NFL side of it, because I think so many people are botching this in so many directions, right? The Ravens, other teams, and Lamar. I am not coming down on him in a judgmental way. It is more advice. Like, people that think they can be experts at multiple things are usually fooling themselves. So I will use myself as an example. I don't really understand how finances, investments, taxes, any of that stuff works. I've never studied it. I've never taken the time. I have a very base level understanding of it. I pay somebody. Matt says they can tell from all my Jags bets. Fair enough. That came out fine in the end, boys. Maybe you guys don't remember 27-0. I remember 27-0 quite well. That I pay somebody to handle all of that for me because I don't know how to do it. Now, that is risky in its own regard. You have to, a lot of athletes, when that happens, those people then steal money from them. You got to monitor it, and you got to have some level of understanding to make sure you're not being, swindled.
Squeezed. Yeah.
But there are your mom has built this entire store, designed every piece of it, has done, we do the show for my wife's boutique in Harlem called Trintage. It's beautiful. She is not great at promotion. social media stuff.
Right.
She hired somebody to run that for the store, someone who that's what they're an expert in. Now, life is much, much harder, obviously, if you don't have the financial resources to farm out these things. But if you do, and you are trying to maximize your value and all of this, it's almost your responsibility to farm it out. And it'd be one thing if it's like, nope, I can do all of it and I'm handling this perfectly. He's not. And I do wish he had better people around him.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.